Welcome to Road America Race 5 in the Endurance AI League. We have 3 races left, so without further ado, let's take a look at your current championship standings. This is your overall standings. Spencer Alfredo now has a very commanding lead over AOC after a race that went very well in his favor. Starpool in 3rd, Chad Broski in 4th. Then you start getting to your unlikely people to win the championship. You have Phil Slow in 6th. Last race winner, September Cyrus, trying to turn the season around very late. Anthony Winode, 7th. Springroll, 8th. Shoto Todoroki, 9th. Silly Man got his first podium. He is currently 10th. Sawman, his teammate, in 11th. William Afton down in 12th. Denki Kaminari in 13th. The Beast in 14th. Frederick Pope 15th. Orange Chicken 16th. Bernie Sanders 17th. Bob McFarland 18th. And then rounding out your field is Mahavir Raghunathan. So now, let's take a look at your team standings. That is not... Oh, that's the Endurance Cup. You don't really need to know that. Because it's not important to this race, as there's no Endurance Cup points available. Magenta Trees now takes the lead of the team standings. They have about 30-ish, no, about 50 points lead over the Baby Auto Parts. And then it's the Bo Coaxes, Figgle Fat Racing, the Democratic Party, Silly Boys Inc., MHA Racing, Yum Yum Speed, Raghunathan Racing. As the Beast was off track, his team is the Banshees in 10th, and then the Norwal's playing catch up in 11th. And then your manufacturer standings: McLaren, Porsche, BMW, Lamborghini, Ferrari, Mercedes, Ford. Again, I am not sure if that is currently up to date. I need to check. As there's the updated standings. So now let's hide this, because we got qualifying going on. So far, no one has set a lap. But September Cyrus already going the fastest. September Cyrus had a pink first sector, but Chad Broski got around her. So that, yeah, yellow second sector. That is not very good. Road America, it's a very large track, about 4 miles all the way around. Actually, a little bit over. I think it's the biggest permanent racing facility in probably North America. September Cyrus goes pink again in the 3rd sector, but is being held up by Broski, who's kind of been plagued by issues despite being one of the fastest cars this season. He's sitting in, I believe, 4th in the championship, which obviously is not where he wants to be. 215 and 67 could be playing cat and dog. But as we see, the 002 will be the first car to hit the line. He had a pink sector. I think Chad Broski's just going to beat out the 67. But the 002 will be the first car to set a lap. The 215 right behind him. And there are points awarded for qualifying, so you gotta be in a good spot. As we see, Kaminari has a very good time. Chad Broski, 9 seconds faster. September Cyrus did not have that good of a lap, must have gone off. But Kaminari and Todoroki, teammates, going very fast, but not good enough right there. The 150 will go second by about 5 tenths. As our championship leader, Spencer Alfredo, has a pink 4th sector. I think the fourth sector is, um, 2, 3, about the carousel as William Afton goes P1. As here we see championship leader Spencer Alfredo. His qualifying pace, it hasn't really quite been there. Winodes goes P1, 2099. What's he got? It's gonna be good enough for first by about 5 tenths. As the 463 we gotta keep an eye on. Been really strong in qualifying. It's gonna be right there. Just not quite pole. That'll only go for fourth right now, but Phil Slow has been on top of the qualifying game, just not the race pace. So we're going to see what he does. The Beast has a very good final sector. Phil Slow only goes third, but the Frederick Pope, not the Pope, Frederick Pope, has 2 pink sectors. First person I think I've seen today to have 2 pink sectors at the same time. Another pink sector. So Frederick Pope may be the car to beat as qualifying time is almost up. You gotta hurry. Frederick Pope will get one more lap after this, as one of his pinks basically went away, but he has pulled by about a little under a second. That's very good. Nobody is really quite there to challenge. Could his teammate challenge? Bob McFarland does not look like he'll be able to, and it does not look like he'll be able to get another lap. So he'll go 6th, not where he wants to be. As Starpool has a very good first sector, but he may have gotten held up by the 707. Currently down in 14th. Starpool, where's he going to go? It's only good enough for 4th. As Spencer Alfredo is on a very good lap right now. Pink third sector. Reminder, championship points are awarded in qualifying. He needs any point he can get, but he goes yellow in the 5th sector. AOC is right there behind, as one of his pinks has just gone away. Someone has bettered that, but where's his time gonna be? Is it gonna be good enough for pole? It's only good enough for a slight improvement. What about the 463? Trying to get camera angle, but has several yellows. I think Frederick Pope could be your pole sitter. Does not look like AOC will be there, but a final pink sector in the final sector, but is not good enough. Phil Slow has been good with qualifying this whole season, but does not look like he'll be there, as Frederick Pope is going faster again. Look at the speed. That's another pink sector. Now going to be coming up the hill. The 17 will be the last car to get a lap in, as that is not an improvement, but it does not look like any time will be bettered. There may be slight improvements, so keep an eye out. Mahavir Gunafin only improves to 18th. Everyone else is coming into pit road. So here is your starting lineup. Frederick Pope and Spencer Alfredo gonna be on the front row. I think Spencer Alfredo is definitely gonna need to send it going into turn 1. Or he could do what he normally has done in these races and just wait it out, and then all his enemies fall apart. But AOC right there in third, you know she's gotta need to realize that the gap is starting to widen, and she's in second place, so she could easily get the championship. Well, not easily, but she's in a good position to. Winodes will be in 4th, and then row 3 is William Afton and Phil Slow. Phil Slow is in 5th in the championship. We've been talking about how good he has been in qualifying. I just don't think it was really there this time. But 6th, that's still not bad. Row 4, Starpool and Shoto Todoroki. That's a championship contender right there in Starpool. So row 5 is Sawman and Denki Kaminari. And then row 6, Chad Broski starting all the way back in 11th, not what he needs as he's trying to play catch up. And then Bob McFarland is right there alongside. Row 7, Silly Man and the Beast. The Beast looked like he could have gotten the win at Watkins Glen if things just played out, but he started to lose control of the car. I think he ended up 10th, I believe. And then September Cyrus, your defending race winner, just not there in qualifying, 4 seconds off the pace. That's very far behind just the car in front. I do think the 67 did not have good luck with lap traffic because the 215, who was right above her, didn't really get that much good of a lap time as well. Orange Chicken will be right there alongside. And then row 9, Spring Roll and Mahavir Raghunathan. Spring Roll, that is definitely not a good qualifying time for him. And then rounding out your field, you have Bernie Sanders, who has not really been there in qualifying or in race pace. Maybe something will come together, but it's not there today. So your race info, yeah, 3.98 miles, about 4 miles. We have 3 races left to go. Track temp, very hot. It is very hot out today. But this is a late afternoon race. Give it probably until about the halfway point, and it'll start getting dark. So we may end under night. Very windy today, 8 miles per hour. Doesn't seem too windy. I mean, if you're in a hurricane, that's not too windy. So, I'm gonna have to keep an eye out on that. Currently waiting for the cars to roll off. So, I think if I had to pick a favorite, I'm gonna be going with the 463. I just the problem with the 463 so far this season, as it's just not. There's been the 463 has probably been the fastest car all season. The 463 and the 215 both have been really fast cars, but have been incredibly inconsistent, um, making a lot of mistakes. The 463 was in a very good speed position at Watkins Glen. I think if the 463 did not crash, would have gone on to win the race, or at least would have gotten a really good result out of it. Maybe even, well, probably wouldn't take the championship lead, but would have gotten really close to it. But unfortunately, just things did not go out as planned. Red Bull Ring was leading the race and went way off track, lost a lot of positions. Spencer Alfredo ended up winning the race. Now, Spencer Alfredo, I think, has had a very interesting season so far. Definitely, I would not say has had the fastest car. I would say, I mean, if you look at his results, they've only been about fourths and fifths. There was only one where he actually finished on the podium. Or, well, it's been about third, fourth, and fifth. I think he's gotten a couple podiums, but in general, just has not had a lot of winning speed except for Red Bull Ring. And granted, he got lucky that the 463 had went off track. At Watkins Glen, he finished fourth. I think Daytona, he finished third. I think his worst result is a seventh, however. Whereas his main championship rivals, AOC, had Daytona basically wrapped up, and then a bad pit stop, but started to recover the lead, and then crashed again, and is now sitting back here in the championship standings. We go to the 0. who I'd say has not been the fastest car, but definitely could have won Sebring, but went off track and lost the lead to the 215, who's really been struggling in the last couple races. Like at Spa, started pretty far back, then was starting to climb through the race and was gaining a lot of positions, then crashed, finished far back, and then Red Bull Ring just didn't really have a lot of pace. Somehow ended up in a second place position, and Watkins Glen crashed very early on, giving up the lead very early. So Spencer Alfredo just needs to be consistent. Now, the other driver on the front row, despite having pole we haven't really talked about, but Frederick Pope in that very yellow car, he's just kind of playing catch-up this season, while the guys around him, like the two guys right behind him and next to him, they're going for championships. And on top of that, the 609 is also trying to go for a team's championship. And the 56 is also in a pretty good position to win the team championship. So the three cars right around them, they have a lot to lose. Whereas the 998 mathematically is eligible for the championship, but needs to catch up a lot of points. So if the 609 just has a couple, like this race is just a solid result, that could very well harm the 998. So he's definitely just gonna need to watch out for that. For some reason, the 0 is in the grass. I don't know what that was about. But yeah, this race will be mostly in the dark, as it's sunset when we're holding this race. So there's the banana mobile of the 998. Just trying to catch his team up in the team standings. Trying to catch up in the championship standings. Pace car is about to roll off. And then they'll charge up the hill. Very fast turn one, not really that tight of a turn, so it's a little bit harder of a braking opportunity. But up the hill they go. Green flag is out here at Road America. All 19 cars charge down. Will the 463 try and make a move up the inside? As the 609 takes out some cones. Almost gets passed by the 463. 609 trying to hold on. The 69 is trying to pass the 56. That's Afton and Winodes. But Alfredo is all over the back of Frederick Pope. He's going to need to try and make a move going down into turn 5. But AOC is right there, going to have to try and shoot up the inside. Spencer Alfredo going to have to defend, almost make contact, side by side. Here we go, up into turn 6. It's fast uphill. Oh, it's going to be close. Spencer Alfredo stays ahead. Just what he needs. I think qualifying ahead of the 463 will definitely help. But now, AOC is under fire from Winodes. Not what the 463 had wanted. Does not want to be battling the 56. 56 currently 7th in the championship. Gonna try and make a move by the Kink. That's gonna be a very daring move. He'll back off just a little. But we see up at the front, the 609 is gonna try and chase down the 998. Frederick Pope gonna have to hold him off. Alfredo backs off, going into Canada corner. Now here we go up into turn 13. Now we're gonna be coming around. That's one lap completed. about 2 minutes in. So about 14 more of those. As the 56 is now chasing down the 463 again. Did not get her that time. I think he backed off a little bit going up the hill. Maybe it was just the camera angle. But the 609 is still right there. Spencer Alfredo gonna try and make a move on Frederick Pope. But he's gotta be careful. Frederick Pope has very little to lose, while Spencer Alfredo has a lot to lose. Here we go. Is he gonna try and make a move, or is he too far back? He is too far back. He's got to get around Frederick Pope because now he's being held up, and AOC is coming. Biggest mover off the start was Bob McFarland up 3 spaces. Biggest loser was Kaminari down 4 spaces. The top 4 have stayed the same. Now here we go into the carousel. As that was really good for the top 2. Now they're up to about a 2-second gap between them and the cars behind. As the 420 is having issues right before the carousel. Is the move going to happen here? No, it will not. They're going to have to wait a little bit. But Phil Slow trying to get in the mix of it, sending it down the inside of Winodes. A nice battle right there. But Phil Slow going to have to back off. Spencer Alfredo about 7/10 back. And then AOC is about a 1.5 seconds behind. Two laps complete. Frederick Pope now has the fastest lap with 2:08.5. As Phil Slow and Winodes battling through turn 1. You saw the brakes lit up, but Phil Slow gets around. Will Winodes try and fight back? No. The top 3 cars are pretty evenly distributed. The 609 may be under pressure from AOC very soon. Now there has been a point throughout these races where it just gets very chaotic. There's a lot of spins and crashes. It's about 15 minutes in, so about halfway, and just the cars lose a lot of grip, it seems. As now Spencer Alfredo gonna have to be checking in his mirrors because the 463 is right there. Going down the kettle bottoms, going into Canada corner. The 463 trying to get a draft, may have to try and pass around the outside. Would be a very daring move, not gonna do it right there. Spencer Alfredo, as we've seen, has kind of just been very calm, content with about a 3rd or 4th place finish. But soon, those 3rd and 4th place finishes could decide whether he gets a championship or not. 463 definitely going to need to work on just getting the car to the finish. That's definitely been a struggle for that team. Fastest lap right there, 2:08.1. Now here we go into turn 1. AOC gonna try and blast around the outside, makes the pass work. Move that 463 into 2nd. AOC has gotten around Spencer Alfredo. Spencer Alfredo is not done. He's staying in the draft. Will he try and take another move? How's this gonna go? Seems like he just backs off just a little. Just hopefully his teammate doesn't pass him. If his teammate passes him, that's not gonna be very good. Because then that'll be about a 40-point advantage for the 463 in that case. Spencer Alfredo just kind of keeping just out of 5/10 gap. As now they're starting to get close again. As the 609 right behind Spencer Alfredo. Will he make a move going into turn 1? He's right there. Gotta get in that draft. As Orange Chicken has crashed. Does not seem like Spencer Alfredo will be able to get a pass. But Orange Chicken has gone around. Let's see what happened here. Was it just a simple spin? Yeah, again coming in too hot. We've seen that several times at several different tracks this season. AOC still hasn't really been able to escape Spencer Alfredo. Alfredo, however, is making a gap towards Phil Slow. Maybe Phil Slow is trying to hold up the pack behind to help his teammate. Because I think where their team stands right now will be in a very good position. Because they are 3rd and 4th, and their closest competitors are 5th and 12th. And those are just two different teams. Spencer Alfredo again closing in on the 463. We are already almost 10 minutes through this race. Really just shows you how fast it can go. As Bob McFarland has just passed Starpool. Now you may be wondering why we're talking about this, but Starpool is a championship contender and every point matters. So that Zero's gonna have to try and get back around. But I think the Norwals are just doing really fast today. Bob McFarland, biggest mover, up 4 spots since the start of this race. Biggest loser is Denki Kaminari, down 4 spots. Started in 10th and just hasn't really gone his way today. So it's about a 3-second gap between Frederick Pope and AOC. As we are just over the 1/3 of the way through. It definitely seems like Frederick Pope is the fastest car on track right now. I expect this lap to be a very good one. It's a 2:09.4, but AOC turns a 2:10.8. Same with Spencer Alfredo, also turns a 2:10.8. So your championship contenders are currently 2nd and 3rd as they're starting to battle again. Starpool's in 9th, and then Chad Broski is down in 12th. Spencer Alfredo trying to get a good draft. I think he could maybe make a move, but I think he had a really bad exit out of 3. Now here we go into 4. It's a slight kink down this fast straight. Spencer Alfredo almost sends it, as right behind Winodes is trying to battle Phil Slow. Spencer Alfredo just staying all over the back of that 463, just not letting any of the pressure off. that the cars behind are starting to catch up very slowly to these front two. Well, second, third. Frederick Pope is, actually the gap kind of closed a little. Well, it's about a 4-second gap. I think that's still kind of a growth. So now it's about a second between AOC and Spencer Alfredo. Winnows just desperately trying to get around. So Orange Chicken has gone off again. Probably just another simple spin. Yeah, Frederick Pope definitely just extending his gap. Let's pull up the sectors right here. AOC about 2/10 better in that first sector. We're gonna have to see what the second sector does. About turn 4 is the sector marker. Even better for AOC, almost about half a second up. So I think AOC now, with the pressure off from Spencer Alfredo, is starting to catch up very slowly. But Spencer Alfredo is still not completely gone, still about 8/10 back. That sector seems like AOC really gets killed by Alfredo. As it's even there, but there goes Frederick Pope. Around he goes, but still is in the lead. But here comes AOC, but may get held up right there. That's not what Frederick Pope needed, and that is not what Spencer Alfredo needed. Unless these two keep battling. Just a simple lockup has completely... This could even change the championship. It would not be enough points for AOC to take over the championship lead, however. Just how big... I think Spencer Alfredo basically will probably be the championship leader after this race, but I think at Brands Hatch, which is the next race, it's going to get very close as the top 3 are all right here. Just about halfway. This is usually when the chaos starts with these cars. AOC may try and make a move right here in turn 1. Not close enough. Almost ran into the back of Frederick Pope. But here comes the move around turn 2 of little fast kink. Full throttle. But Phil Slow is now starting to close in. Spencer Alfredo is right there. Spencer Alfredo side by side with that 463 going down the straight into turn 4. It's... I don't know why I said straight and turn 4. Very, like, a straight. It's full throttle. It's a full throttle kink. Road America has a lot of full throttle kinks. But here we go. Coming up to where Frederick Pope went off originally, but now Frederick Pope is starting to catch back up to the ground he had. And Spencer Alfredo starting to fall a little bit behind the 463. This is where Pope had gone off, but this time he will not go off. He'll stay on track, and it seems like Orange Chicken will be our struggling driver for this race, as he is currently struggling to get it back going. Let's quickly see what happened here. I'll make sure you won't miss a thing. Just another simple spin, it seems. Oh, that was a very fast spin. Spencer Alfredo still just sitting right there. AOC right in the middle. been a relatively clean race so far. Despite, I think the only drivers I've seen on our radar go off this race is obviously Orange Chicken, Bernie Sanders, and then Frederick Pope we saw not too long ago. But he is still in a pretty good position, except AOC always gets very close to him right there. About equal gaps between the first three drivers. Feel Slow is about 2.5 seconds back. As, oh! Frederick Pope has gone off track again! He is struggling. Let's see what happened here. Ooh, just went wide. As now he is in 4th. That's not what he needed. Spencer Alfredo, I think he feels indifferent. I don't really think much would have changed. I think that was actually probably better for him, because now, even though AOC will be making 30 points better than him off the race, AOC was catching him for 1st, and if Spencer Alfredo stayed in 3rd, that would be about, like, 50-point difference right there. As the Beast has now crashed, he seems to be stalled. Kind of been having a lot of issues. Was in a pretty good position at Watkins Glen, but now he has looped it around. Luckily he gets going, but Spencer Alfredo still not far back. He's only about a second back. And these drivers have been pretty even, as now the 17 is having issues. Oh, he is deep in the tire barrier. What happened here? I've never seen a car get lodged. Oof. That was a pretty big hit. The back of the car is lifted up off the ground. As, oh, it seems like... Why is it being difficult? There we go, we had an issue, but Spencer Alfredo caught up to AOC. I don't know how, and I don't know why. Just was way quicker in a certain sector, as now he is right there. All over the back of AOC. Could Spencer Alfredo win it again? He's now closing in. All is going well for Spencer Alfredo, but it could very well get screwed up right here. This are the top 2 in the standings, but AOC completely outbreaks them into turn 5. Just a simple turn. Now changed that gap from about 2 tenths to about 8 tenths. Coming up on 9 tenths now. A very close race, as we can see throughout the field. As now it's up to about a second and a half, as now AOC has gone off. We've known that AOC has... Oh, and stalled it. Just went wide. Just went wide and is not getting back going again, and is now basically retired out of this race. Frederick Pope is kind of back in this right now. If he wins, that'll be a miracle comeback. The Beast has gone off again. Apparently the craziness came a little late, but now AOC is out of the race. Just... Woof. So now the top 2 are teammates, Spencer Alfredo and Phil Slow. Phil Slow is actually closing in, but Frederick Pope is closing in on Spencer Alfredo. Oh, or I mean Phil Slow. What am I saying? I already forgot. But now Spencer Alfredo may have pressure put on him by either his teammate or just a new driver. Phil Slow had his fastest lap that lap. Phil Slow and Spencer Alfredo have both actually, very interesting news. Spencer Alfredo and Phil Slow have both been confirmed for UAL 4, which will probably be coming late October, right after the season ends. Next weekend will be Brands Hatch. Now, when you're seeing this, it'll probably be about a week later. Like, as of now, as I'm recording this, Watkins Glen has not been uploaded. It'll probably be uploaded right after I finish recording this. As Winodes is now right there, and Spencer Alfredo is now just trying to get his gap back up. This could end up being a very close finish. Frederick Pope just still chasing Phil Slow. He could be able to get him in Canada Corner. I don't think he'd be that risky to do it at the kink, but he almost did it. Whoa, that could have been very bad. Canada Corner is one of the most dangerous turns on this track. I'd say the most dangerous. It's a very fast turn with very little runoff. So if you go off, you could get sent flipping, as Winodes is right there, right behind Frederick Pope. Spencer Alfredo is having yet another good championship day, as his closest championship rival is 18th. Third place in the standings is in 8th, and then 4th place is 9th. As Winodes could have gone for a move, I think Spencer Alfredo may actually have to be looking at Phil Slow as maybe a future championship rival, as now it's down to about a second. Phil Slow has about a second gap as well over Frederick Pope, but Winodes is now trying to battle Pope, and we've seen that when cars start to battle, they kind of slow each other down, and cars behind can catch up. Except there's no pressure from behind for really the top 4, because after that is about a 6.5 second gap to Todoroki. Then after that is about a 4-second gap to Afton. Phil Slow under or just about a second behind, as Frederick Pope is now back to under half a second. Carousel's not a good passing point, neither is the kink, even though we've seen him try and go for it. Here we go into Canada Corner. We have about 4 minutes left, so maybe about 2 laps to go. I don't know, but it's just getting very close. As Frederick Pope almost dives it in turn 14. But now he's going to be in a very good spot to try and make the pass, except Spencer Alfredo has snuck away to a 2-second lead. Here they go into turn 1. Oh, it's going to get very close. Who's going to outbrake the other? It seems like Phil Slow is just narrowly going to make it by, but will Frederick Pope try and dive it in at turn 3? Oh, it's going to be close. Seems like Phil Slow will stay out ahead. Biggest mover this race so far. Spring roll up 6 spots. As now we see Frederick Pope going to try and make a move into turn 5. But we have not really seen any passes that have worked right there. Seems like the best passing Oh! Spencer Alfredo has screwed it up. He is around and in the wall. Major championship implications right here. What has happened? He just went wide, and now he is out of the race. Phil Slow is now in the lead, but does not seem like for long, because Frederick Pope is right there. Spencer Alfredo, not what he needed. That's definitely going to end his day and could seriously harm his championship. We've been talking about how good he's been under pressure, but he just threw it all away. Now Phil Slow trying to carry the torch for the team, as Todoroki has now had an issue. But this front stretch could get very interesting. 3 cars in contention right here. 12 seconds to the car behind. So it seems like it's going to be a freeway battle for this race win. As here we go. The moves are being made. No passes right there. I think this is the final lap, if I'm not mistaken. Is it the final lap? Yes, it is the final lap. Why can't I leave? So here we go. Final lap. Can Phil Slow secure a win? Or is he going to be stopped? I think Winodes right now is also going to be in a good position, because that will probably put his team into a team standings championship win position, as Broski and Poole are now battling each other. And silently, Bob McFarland has snuck his way up 8 spots in this race to be up in 4th. Phil Slow now coming around turns 9 and 10, which is the carousel. I think there's going to be 2 spots where he's going to need to hold on for dear life. Is Frederick Pope going to try and send it going into the kink? He's daring, but not that daring. Phil Slow's going to have to hold on. 3 turns left. Oh, it's going to get very close. Here we go into Canada corner. No passing. We could see a nice battle onto the front stretch. 3 tenths separate Slow from Pope. As here we go. Around the final turn. Does not seem like Frederick Pope is going to catch him. Phil Slow, despite his teammate not having the race he needed, Phil Slow had what he needed, as he will win here at Road America. What a crazy race that was. Phil Slow gets the win. Frederick Pope, he's just slowly improving in this series, however. Look at his results. 5th, 4th, 3rd, 2nd, as he has joined late. But he is having a very good season. Winodes, it started off very rough, but it's slowly starting to come back together. Seems like these short 30-minute races are what he has really thrived on. So now we send it to the pits. We see Spencer Alfredo here. He will beat AOC in the race, who is his closest rival, but Broski and Poole are now instantly back into good championship positions, even though it was a 7th and an 8th for them this race. It may just be quite enough. We didn't really talk about it, but Broski did get by Star Poole, because at that point we were dealing with a freeway race for the win. Ooh. So 6 races down, 2 to go. The championship battle still up for grabs. Phil Slow, although we haven't really talked about him, even though we talked about Poole and Broski immediately as being back in the championship fight, Phil Slow was never out of it. I think he's gotten 5th place in all of the races, except for Sebring, which was a 12th, and now he's gotten a 1st here. He's currently 5th in the standings, well, at least coming in after. It's definitely going to be way different. Ironically, the race where he doesn't really qualify up to his standards is the race he ended up winning. Still waiting on some cars to finish for us to look at the results. But biggest mover of today was Bob McFarland, up 8 spots. Started back in 12th, finished 4th. But he's also tied with Springroll, who finished 9th after starting 17th. Biggest loser would be a tie between Spencer Alfredo and AOC, but I'd say the biggest loser has to be AOC this race. It was there, it was all adding up. So now, let's take a look at your final results. So Phil Slow pieces it all together. He'll get his win. That'll be the 2nd win for the team in this season. For the team ever, this will only be their 3rd win. But I think every win's going to mean a lot to that team after only having 1 win for what felt like forever in this whole series. Very close between the top 3. I think that's your closest race this season. Frederick Pope definitely could have been a win. It just didn't, and it seemed like there was actually a curse, because all 3 of the leaders beside Phil Slow ended up having some major misfortune. Frederick Pope was the only one to really kind of bounce back. Anthony Winnods, he finishes 3rd. Definitely a pretty good race for him. Bob McFarland, a very good race for his team, 2nd and 4th. William Afton will finish 5th. Sawman gets a very quiet 6th. Broski and Poole, we already talked about. They finished 7th and 8th. Springroll, also one of the biggest movers. He finishes 9th. Kaminari, he was the biggest loser at some point in this race, but he pieced it together to finish inside the top 10. I think that's his first top 10 of the season. Silly Man, not really the race he wanted to follow up after Watkins Glen. He'll finish 11th. September Cyrus, definitely not the race she wanted. After Watkins Glen, she'll finish 12th. Todoroki could have been a top 5. We didn't talk about it, but he had gone off track in about, I think, the last lap. Last lap or second to last lap. And then Bernie Sanders, again, just not really there. The Beast, not really there. Orange Chicken had a lot of issues today. And then Spencer Alfredo and AOC. However, I do think this is Spencer Alfredo's only really major mistake of the season so far. He's definitely been the most consistent, but AOC definitely has to work on some consistency issues. Then rounding out the field, Lord and Savior, Mahavir Raghunathan. What a race that was. Um, so now we have 2 races left. We go over to Britain for Brands Hatch. It was originally going to be at Oulton Park, but due to some changes, Brands Hatch is now going to be the 2nd to last race. I think that's going to be a very nail-biting race, especially for your championship contenders. And then after that, we go to Road Atlanta, and that'll be a wrap on this season. So if you want to keep updated with the series, join the Discord or subscribe to this channel. You don't have to, but you can. And USF 2000 AI League Season 4 is going to be coming very soon, so make sure you sign up to that. You don't want to miss it. So I guess I will see you guys next time. Goodbye.